Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Al-ilmu nur, knowledge is light. Really, it is an important topic, and this statement has been given by our Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on education. And so many speeches and lectures have been also given by our different ulama in different languages in past. But today I want to say something in different way on education and Islam. I want to define on something special about Islam and about education, about the importance of education, about the teachings of Islam. I want to show the relationship between Islam and education. I want to highlight the main connection between Islam and education. So it is a most important topic, most interesting topic for those brothers who don't know these types of relation between Islam and education, who always tell that Islam and education both are different in taste and temperament. Some of us tell that Islam is a different thing and education is also a different thing. So I want to say something to those brothers who don't believe that both are equal, both are necessary, both cannot be divided into parts. I want to show something to those brothers. My dear, Islam and education never can be divided into parts, because Islam is the part of education, you can say, and education is also a part of Islam. Without education, Islam is incomplete, and without Islam, education cannot be completed also. For being a complete Muslim, only education is necessary for everyone. For being a complete and a good educated person, only Islam is necessary for us. So both are necessary for each other, both are compulsory for each other, both are dependent on another. Without Islam, education is nothing. Without education, Islam cannot be completed also. So my dear friends, for understanding this serious topic, we will have to discuss at first on both things separately. Lonely, we will have to know the importance of education at first, then the teaching of Islam. So let me tell something on the importance of education. We will have to discuss on the importance of education, which kinds of benefits can be given by getting education, after getting education, which kinds of benefits we will get after getting education, what we will be after getting education. We will have to discuss at first on it. My dear, you know, without education, we cannot we cannot do and we cannot be anything in our life. If we want to be a good and a strong man of our society, only education is a way to be a good and a strong man of our society. Without education, we cannot be a doctor, we cannot be an engineer, we cannot be alim, hafiz, qari, mufti, muhaddis. For being everything for everyone, only education is necessary. Without education, we cannot be perfect man of our society. So its importance cannot be denied by anyone. Everyone wants to do something, everyone wants to be something. So for being something, for doing something, only education is must for us. So we understood that education is must. And second thing, we will have to discuss on the teaching of Islam. We will have to know which kinds of teachings, which kinds of thoughts have been given by Islam, what Islam wants to do for us. So we will have to discuss it first also. My dear friends, Islam is not a name of an ordinary religion, but Islam is a name of an universal religion. Islam is the name of the religion which belongs to our requirement. Islam is the name of the religion which belongs to our need. Islam does not force us to do those things which are unnecessary for our life, which are unuseful for us. Islam always tells to do those things which are compulsory, which are necessary for us. And Islam does not forces us only to establish namaz. Islam does not only forces for giving charity, for going to Hajj, and for fasting in Ramzan, but Islam also wants to tell that we will have to get education for being everything, for doing anything perfectly in our life. Having shown the relation and differences between educated and illiterate person, once Quran said, Hal yastawi alladhina ya'lamun wal ladina la ya'lamun. Are educated and illiterate both can be equal? Quran wants to say that both cannot be equal. Both are not equal because education is name of the light and illiteracy is the name of darkness. And you know, darkness and light both are differ, both are antonyms, both are against for each other, and antonyms cannot be equal. So according to Quran, there are so many differences between educated person and illiterate person. So Quran wants to show that there are so many differences between both. According to this statement of Quran, we can understand the benefits of education and the darkness of illiteracy, the harmful of illiteracy. And the second thing, for understanding the differences between Islamic education policy and the policy of our education, we can understand easily. My dear, our country says that education is our right. Our teachers say that education is our right. Our constitution says that education is our right. According to Article 21A, every child has to right to get education in free of cost. And according to the act which was passed by our parliament in 2009, named Shiksha Ka Adhikar Adhiniyam. According to this act, every child has right to get education who belongs to 6 and 14 years old, who are 6 to 14 years old. So my dear friends, according to this act, according to the constitution of our country, according to entire world, only education is must for everyone. Without education, everyone wants to say that education is our right. Education is our right. Our country, our teachers, our brothers, our society, everyone wants to say that education is our right. But it is only Islam where we can find that Islam says education is not our right, but Islam says talabul ilmi fariza ala kulli muslimi wa muslima. Getting education is compulsory for every Muslim man and woman. You can understand the difference between the right to education and the compulsory to education. My dear friends, there are so many differences between both right to education and compulsory to education. Islam wants to say that education is compulsory for everyone, and other wants to say that education is a right to for everyone. For understanding these differences, you can understand by an example also. For example, I will give you 10 rupees in borrow. Then I have a right to ask these rupees anytime from you. It is my right. And I also can forgive you these rupees, this borrow rupees, because it is dependent on my willing. It is dependent on my mind. If I will forgive you, or I can get from you, I can ask from you these rupees. It is right. But the thing which is compulsory, the compulsory thing cannot be forgiven. The compulsory thing cannot be leave. You will have to do the compulsory thing. You will have to give the compulsory things. So it's only Islam wants to say that education is not right for everyone, but education is a compulsory thing for everyone. So you can easily understand the differences between a right to education and compulsory to education. My dear friends, as a Muslim, we will have to consider on it that which types of teachings have been given by the Prophet of Islam, which kinds of motivations have been given by Islam about the education. My dear, you know, from starting point of Islam, Islam wants to teach, Islam wants to motivate to its followers, to its believers. The first war, when the first war was held between Muslims and their enemies, named Jang-e Badr. after the Jang-e Badr, after the completion this war, some enemies have run away. Some of them were killed, and remaining 70 enemies have been arrested and sent to jail. After sending to jail, after a few days, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to meet those jailers, those prisoners, and said to them, if you want to realize, if you want to go back your home, you will have to pay something against it. And if you have nothing to pay, you will have to teach at least 10 Muslims which kinds of knowledge you have on your mind. What amazing statement. Subhanallah. What beauty a statement has been given by our holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to enemies, if you want to release from this prison, you will have to give something against it. And if you have nothing to pay, you will have to teach at least 10% of Muslim, 10 Muslim person, which kinds of knowledge, which kinds of education you gained. You will have to teach at least 10%. So from the starting period of Islam, Islam wants to motivate us for education. So as a Muslim, we will have to think about it seriously. And one question as far as concerned that which types of education and how much education is necessary to give and get in Islam. So my dear friends, listen something in last special about it also. Islam never forces us to be a specific things. Islam never wants to tell that we will have to be only a alim, we will have to be only mufti, we will have to only be a doctor. But Islam, it is allowed by Islam. If we want to be a doctor, we can be. If we want to be a engineer, we can be. If we want to be an alim, we can be. Islam never forces to be a special thing, and Islam never forbids to do a special thing also. But Islam only forces us to get at least basic information of Islam. After getting the basic knowledge of Islam, after getting the basic information and of Sharia, we can do anything, we can be anything. If we want to be a good doctor, we can be. There is no question, there is no doubt, there is no any pressure of Islam given by Islam. So Islam wants to say that at least basic information basic information are necessary to get you for getting you. My dear friends, so according to Islam, if we want to be a doctor, we will have to get at least some important knowledges. We will have to get some basic information of Islam at first. Then we can be a doctor, we can be an engineer, we can be anything. But we will have to maintain from starting of my life to ending of our life. Only we will have to maintain our Sharia, our Islam. It is said by Islam, without Sharia, without Quran, without the constitution of Quran, without the statement of our holy Prophet, we cannot be anything. And after that, after getting those knowledge, we can be anything. So according to Islam, we can be a doctor, engineer also, we can be a alim, hafiz, qari, but it is dependent on the intention. It is dependent on our intentions. Why we want to be a doctor? It is dependent. Why we want to be a alim? It is dependent on our mind. It is dependent on our intention. If I aimed that I will be a doctor, I will earn money, then Islam forbids us to get these types of knowledges. Once the Holy Prophet said, there are two types of education. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min ilmin la yanfa. According to this statement, there are two types of education. First of all, beneficial education, non-beneficial education. So we will have to get a beneficial education, not non-beneficial education. So my dear friends, I want to say something in last to you. As a Muslim, we will have to get education, at least some basic information about Islam, some basic knowledges about Sharia we will have to get at first, before being a doctor, before being an engineer, before being an IAS officer. So my dear, I hope that this my little effort may be useful for you, may be useful for me, may be useful for our uh, other brothers. If it can be useful for you, kindly forward it to other for